Clicktivism or slacktivism as it exists in the industry. A trend that has changed over the few years. Earlier, there used to be times 30 years, 40 years back, where petitions used to be collected on the road, where people would sign. That has happened to me even when I was a child, especially my father, when we had a little bit of a political background, especially since I'm from Calcutta, where leftist organizations, what they would do is they will come to your house and ask you to sign on something. There has been an increase in your electricity fare or your tram fare. Sign this, and there would be things, and things would change. Yeah, it's not just done for the sake of it, but what has happened over the period of time is that things have changed, things have gotten for the better of it, and the entire bit of protests, of asking for things to change and creating pressure has gone online. So I'm going to talk about Clicktivism, how that is used as a digital fundraising technique, and how organizations, especially INGOs or international NGOs in India, have been making quite a substantial amount of funding by just doing that. So I'll just start off with what I spoke about the last time. In my last talk, I spoke about fundraising systems, where I spoke about different fundraising avenues which exist within the individual fundraising space. Out of that one segment that has been developing in the past decade or so, there's the new media or the digital media that exists. So Clicktivism, which is definitely a part of campaigning, forms a part of this, where you have digital fundraising, you have campaign drives, you have mobilization platforms, essentially awareness building techniques that you look at. So I'm going to get straight to the topic, right? There's a saying that things have changed and things have improved over the past few decades, especially in the social space. This is an image of Ota Benda from the Bronx Zoo in 1916. I'm going to call Ota a subject because that's what I read in most of the places. The subject was basically bought in the late 1800s, brought into US by a rich businessman, and Ota's job was basically to stand and pose with monkeys, and the subject was an exhibit to be monitored by white guys. Keep in mind, this is 1913-ish, 1905, 1913-ish I'm talking about. Yeah? I cannot vouch for this image, but this is what I found. 1958, Belgium Zoo, where a black girl, or let me correct myself, that's what the article said, it's a black girl, but it's an African-American girl where the whites are basically feeding her bananas. This is 1958. Yeah? Keep in mind, slavery, or the entire concept of color, was abolished in the year 1833, which is 17 years, precisely less than 200 years, that's basically 173 years. So we mean to say that a lot has changed in the lives of the African Americans in the past 170 years or so. Well, not much. Yeah? Even now, we see that they are campaigning, saying that Black Lives Matter. So the question is that where is this campaigning that organizations are doing in regards to social justice, in regards to empathy, where is it leading to? It reminds me of a story of David versus Goliath. Yeah, it's a biblical story that exists, and I'm sure majority of us would know the story. David was a shepherd boy in Israel, and he took care of his sheep, and he used to play the harp, and he was a happy-go-lucky guy. And one day the king called him. The king was really tired. The king of Israel was really tired of fighting in the war, in the battles, and asked David to, David, come down and play me your harp. And David played his harp, and king felt very good. Yeah. Next day, there's a giant called Goliath who comes on, who cannot be defeated, and David takes up the role where he says that he would challenge the giant and basically kill him. So he takes out his slingshot, puts his stones in, hits the giant falls down, takes out his sword, kills him. Typical biblical stories that exist. Finally, the evil is gone, and truth and justice survives. Right? Question is, David said that he would fight. Yeah, we don't know what was the wrong that the giant did, apart from the fact that he was huge and great. Yeah, but what would have David done if he were in 2017? If David was in 2017, the first thing that David would do is he would do brand jamming. What is brand jamming, for example? Brand jamming is an essential technique where you identify the corporate or the government or the individual, whosoever is responsible for degradation or whosoever is responsible for destruction, and take that image back to their customers, because that's the only place where individuals would fear. Like, for example, governments are concerned about vote banks, and similarly, corporates are bothered about their customers or the income sources which are there. Yeah. So this is what David would do. keep in mind, when we're talking about David Cameron, we're talking about David from David Goalin. So it's essentially about the profound shift that has happened in the past few years, especially that is visible in the digital space. Right? It is about global consciousness, it's about global citizenship, it's about global responsibility, it's about global interconnectedness, and that's what campaigns like Black Lives Matter do. Yeah? Me sitting in Bangalore in India, no one in my family I don't think has ever interacted to that extent which talks about African Americans and their rights. I would be campaigning for Bangladeshi rights. Right? However, what is happening is that the global interconnectedness and the consciousness is taking shape. However, unfortunately, most of these campaigns, if you look at, be it the DAPL campaign, or be it environmental campaigns, be it tribal rights campaign, be it child rights campaigns, be it the Syria issue which we're talking about, all these are politically motivated. Yeah, majority of these are driven by interests of corporations or even political motivation. Yeah, clearly anything that you would do basically to sell off, whether it's got tribal rights involved or anything else. The question is, why is Clicktivism a good thing or a bad thing? Definitely it's a good thing because it leads to awareness, it helps you reach out, but it promotes a lot of apathy. It is that, oh, poor girl kind of a feeling, oh, poor boy kind of a feeling. I would go on there, post a video of Syria, of saying that, oh, that is something that's so bad that's happening. I would go ahead and click on that like button and wait for it to, that weeping thing will come down and I'll select that. I don't know what is that doing at the end of the day. Yeah. Figures, I'll be talking about petition figures at some point of time, but ultimately what the social media Clicktivism is doing is, it's not doing much good. Definitely it's leading to an awareness scale, but what is happening to the overall issue? Now let's deviate, let's pause this for a while, and let's look at what future holds. Yeah, what is the future that we're talking about? Yeah, outside the non-profit sector that exists, or the social sector that exists, there's a for-profit sector. And in the for-profit sector, it's about technology, it's about profit, it's about money. We're talking about by the year 2045, we would be getting into a space, we as in the Earthlings would be getting into a space which would be about neural communications, where we would be able to communicate with a lot of, robotic or the machine language that we're talking about, or human language that would be in terms of neural. Or even talk about artificial intelligence, which is basically taking shape, which is no more a thing from the future, but we're already working on it. Molecular engineering, for example. Molecular engineering is basically how do you create structures, which are lightweight in nature, which are durable, which are strong in nature, right? However, there's a denial that exists. Yeah, there's a constant attempt where anytime you raise an issue, there would be individuals, organizations, multiple stakeholders who are in that player, who would be in that game. They would come forward and they would say, oh, everything is fine and cool, you don't need to worry about it, right? And that's essentially what capitalism does. The objective of capitalism is the social sector is responsible for everything that goes wrong. You come in and you take care of it. CSR is a perfect example of it, where me as an organization probably, I would go ahead and destroy lives of tribal people and lead to destruction of forests and things like that. And then finally come up with a cool CSR policy which basically funds some other causes, and I don't know, is that sin against that sinning? But definitely that profits is meant for privatized people. So there's a clear demarcation that exists between non-profits and the for-profit sector. What are the civil society organizations up to in that entire space? Yeah, mind it, when I'm talking about non-profits, there are quite a few different types of non-profit which exist. There will be organizations which work in aid. Yeah, make a difference in the example of a service organization where we specifically focus on the new generation of non-profits which exist. However, the civil society organizations which have been there for quite some time, what are they doing? Yeah, they are promoting issues through the social media which are positive, good things, and at each and every stage, what you look at, that it's about some cons or the other that's got to do with funding. Yeah, because accept it or not, clearly the sector is funding deprived. Yeah, it's very easy for me to start up, and if I form a startup and if I have a cool idea and I have got a good thing to back it up with, I don't know, brains from Stanford and Yale, I would be getting a 50 crore, 100 crore funding like this, right? But for me to start up a social project, there would be a lot of to and fro and back and fro that exists. Similarly, even the big organizations which have been working in this space, for them as well, each and every comms that goes out, there's definitely some kind of a funding angle that's related to it, right? And for that, which are the segments that they're picking up is essentially the social media, right? Social media is a space where, where they exist. And that's because of their operational stability is what they're focusing on. Yeah? Obviously, there have been multiple debates within Make a Difference as well about unrestricted funding and how unrestricted funding is important. But it's possible to go ahead and fund all of these expenses, these organizational expenses which are there through the online space. And petitioning is a clear example of it. Right? I promise that I'll be talking about data. Just to give you an overview, from a click rate to a sign-up rate. That means I see a petition, I click on it, and then I sign up with my name and phone number and email address and all of that. It basically, the conversion rate is at 3%. That means if 100 people visit a page, only 3 people end up signing it. Yeah? And I have done telephone raising for 5-6 years of my life. Yeah, there are individuals who would put wrong number, who would put other numbers, and just because they are scared of the communication that we will follow through. I have already I've spoken about in the past that fundraising is an art. What we end up doing is that we end up doing marketing solicitations in the name of fundraising, which is definitely not that. So how do you do what you do basically? Yeah. There's this famous Mahatma Gandhi's statement. First basically they would laugh at you, then they would fight you, and finally you win. And that's what happens essentially in campaigning. Yeah? In campaigning, what happens is there are multiple stakeholders who are involved. There are multiple channels that you need to keep in mind, especially when you're campaigning. There would be partnerships. There would be you need a solid content in place. There needs to be a paid media advertising, and social sectors are not new to it. We're already doing Facebook paid ads and lives and stuff. Yeah, there's an entire digital engagement which right from email to mobile to blog to websites to catalogs to offline pushes. Yeah, you have your own social media embassies which exist, and then there's an outpost of messages that goes out on the social platforms, and this entire thing helps you in influencer management and also helps you in pushing out what you're trying to achieve. This is an overall flow which is about right from exposure to engagement to influence, impact, and finally leading to the advocacy. Advocacy is the last part where organizations get in. So I just wanted to simplify this entire 2 campaign diagrams in 4 steps. What are we talking about? First is identify the issue. Yeah? Which is the issue that you would want to talk about. Right? It can be, in an example with a non-make a difference context, it can be about civic issues, issues within your community itself. Once you identify that, you engage with the appellate authorities in the process that's laid down. Yeah? If it's got to do with a meeting with your municipality guys, you do that. If it's got to do with pressurizing from the legal framework, you do that. And then you release, this is where things get real. Your third step is where you release a detailed report, identifying what are the findings, what are the lacks, where it is, and you go public with this. You release this report on the website, you go to media, you push out the comms in the media, and finally you continue creating pressure. It doesn't matter at the end of the day whether your campaign is a success or not, whether what you're campaigning for is finally is what you win or not, but it's about creating pressure. Yeah, I've participated in quite a few of them. I'm not sure if the image is clear, but there's one campaign which I lost in my life, which was about the Kurunkulam nuclear power plant that was coming up. In spite of everything that I did at that point of time in a personal capacity, we couldn't stop it. However, what that did, that definitely brought in the Nuclear Civil Liability Bill, which basically looks at suppliers also being responsible for overall environmental degradation as well. I want to talk about numbers, what organizations are raising. If you're able to see this, yeah, I can vouch for at least 3 of these organizations where 50% of their funding that they're doing is coming in only from the social media space and by petitioning and by campaign drives and by solicitation. Yeah? Solicitation for fundraising is an art again, is the way you would do it. There can be aggressive mechanisms, but especially with a fundraising strapped organization where we do not have ample amount of funding, this is the way forward, and that's what organizations are focusing on. Some of the shocking figures are there are organizations who have been able to raise more than 300% or 340% of their overall income figures year on year. Last, what I want to end this with is specifically about the marketization of social change. Right? Now there's this constant struggle that digital activists we face, which is about about the logic of the marketplace and things that we stand out against. What I mean to say is that the way you sell toilet paper, that's not the way you do social campaign. Yeah, it is different. How different? Probably in years to come we will be able to figure out yet. However, what it is doing is that this obsession of tracking clicks. Yeah, instead of focusing on ideas, what we are doing is we are doing A/B testings, and we are trying to inflate these figures. And ultimately, it's whether it's leading to a large scale change or not, time is going to say that, right? And the overall what we need is basically there's going to be a time when there would be a new breed of activists who would come in. And this new breed of activists would be about ideology, would be about passion, would be about total critic of the commercial society that exists, and it would be about uniting the global population that is there. Yeah, for Make a Difference, I've been vocal about it. I'll keep talking about it. There would be a day when there would be an outrage about child rights, and that's the day we need to wait for. That's the day we need to get ready for. Where probably we'll be engaging in the media, probably we'll be engaging in all comms, all platform, and we'll be out on the streets campaigning for the rights. Till then, let's wait for that day. Thank you.